Whoa! Are we live? Oh my goodness. How are you guys doing? Today we have an Audi Q5. Sorry. We got to do a little bit of setup. So we are getting that done. We're going to be doing 35 on the windshield. We're going to be doing 20% on the front doors. And we're going to be doing 20% over the factory on just the back glass to cut down on some extra glare. So, I had things to set up to shoot a video yesterday that just went catastrophically horrible. So, let me rearrange a couple of things. And let's get this going. I have too many things. What did I miss? You missed all the things. We're already done. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye. Nothing. We're just getting started. You missed nothing. Battery goes in here. So every time battery goes in here, Velcro clips here. Power plugs in here. And then microphone clips here. Whoa! Hey! What a surprise. Hopefully. There we go. Look at that. Everything's working. I need to tie those together better.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. Master Matt, and a good morning to you, mate, as we say in the Philippines.
Thank you for the 10. I appreciate that. Good morning, mate. Cheers. Kumusta po. All right. Let's see. Give this a second to connect. This is something I always try and have set up beforehand so we can kind of just get jumping right into it. But we didn't do that today. So let me, we'll do that next time. I should put a little like GoPro setup window. Video capture device. Ooh. I think it's this one. I think it's this one right here. That looks horrible. Is that what it is? Wow. Cool. Oh, look at that. All right, we did it this time. So we do that. And then we do this. Oh, look at that. I can check my GoPro without even needing to switch sources. Now, goodbye. Sweet. That's all good to go. Toolbox. GoPro. Canon. What?
Swallogang super chatted $4.99. Ahoy, quick question. I tried practicing rounding corners, but it's not perfect. Do they have to be?
Oh, did it freeze? No, it didn't freeze. Swole Gang will make it work. Thank you. Thank you for the 5. Ahoy, quick question. I tried practicing rounding corners, but it's not perfect. Do they have to be? No, they don't have to be. They just have to be rounded. So the corners really kind of get shoved into the sides anyways. So the less you see, the better, typically. So you just really need to take that fine point off of it. Mine are a little janky from time to time, but really they're going up in the sides. So you're just going to see it kind of flush into the top corners, and then those rounds are going to be somewhere where you're not going to be able to see them most of the time. So, yep, you're totally fine there. All right, 1 second. I'm going to do a thing where I log out and I log back in. Oh wait, no. We did it differently. Sign in with YouTube. There we go. That was dumb that it didn't work that time. It worked the first time, not the second time. So much for consistency. Allow. Open. Okay. It says it's connected, so let's cross our fingers on that one. And we're gonna get going here because we got work to do. So let's do it. I'm the best, YouTube. You heard it here. I'm the best. GoPro. All right, sweet. So we're going to be doing, like I said, 35 on the windshield, 20 on the front doors, and then we're going to be doing 20% over factory on the back, which I thought this one was actually going to be a little smaller than it is. It's been a minute since I've done the rear hatch on a Q5, but no biggie. We have a spoiler that butts up right against it, so we're going to have to do something about that. We're not going to take the spoiler off, we just have to cut it a little bit differently than a typical top glass. So let's go ahead and get this thing cleaned up a little bit more, and we will be good to go. Should we do this? Should we do this? I suppose. Oh, they give me a little bit of space. So some of these hatches, they have spoilers that come to the right to the edge. And Audi looks to be like one of those back glasses. It's not super rounded, it's just a little tight on the paneling. And it's going to be that area up there, but they give you a little gap. We'll be good. Mirror is also, the rear view mirror is also kind of a funny thing on these. Not one that I like to take off, so we're going to tint around it. Sometimes you stand to damage more than you gain by trying to take off a mirror, and this is one of those vehicles where, like, we'll leave it on. So let's dry some of that off, and then we're gonna glass aid it, which hopefully will be back in stock soon. Where's my roll? I just saw it too. Where was I looking? Okay, so that's a thing. Oh, there it is. Duh. So we're not gonna get all the way to the top. My fog machine's not working today.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99, but before you start, here's.
Thank you for the 10. Before you start, here's. Thank you. Yeah, okay. So now we got technical difficulties again. Great. Thanks. I guess we're just going to have to leave it for now. It's worked fine, and now it's not. That's just, you know, it's just how it goes sometimes. No idea why. Legitimately no idea. And then they're like, Can you troubleshoot it while you're live? Eh, not usually. Trust me, I know that one. So I've talked to their support, and they said everything should be okay, but they can tell me more when I'm live, but I kind of have work to do when I'm live, so they're going to take a certain amount of time to even get back to me. Cannon.
Farhad Ali
1
super
second.
chatted $4.99.
Hey, super chat.
Been tinting in my garage and using your tutorials. Looking to open a shop near Detroit soon. Hopefully we can network. Any advice would be great.
In Detroit area, nice, very cool. I'm gonna put you out of business. No, I'm kidding. It's all good. Thank you for the 5. Yeah, sure. Any this whole channel is advice. So whatever questions you got, let me know. And then we had Daniel Reyna with the other one. So for both you guys. Is it still? Yeah, it is. Everything should be working. I couldn't tell you for the life of me why this is not working, but we got work to do too, so we'll figure it out. Hamtramck. Oh, okay. That's a little ways. We'll be fine. Okay, so we can't pull up on these wipers too far, and this is going to be one of those Audis where unfortunately they have a dot matrix that goes much lower into the dashboard. I'll show you guys. So what I'll usually do on these, I think, is I'll put a rope in, I'll prep it, and then I'll pull the rope before I go to install it, because you can only see about that much of the dot matrix, and the dot matrix goes about that far down. So you want to definitely tint farther down into it, and hopefully get that all covered up down there. So we're going to fold one of these guys up, and we're just gonna kind of place it under here where it's mostly out of the way. And we're gonna do the same thing with the other one. Cars ever die when they're in accessory mode? In accessory mode, not usually, but there's a lot of times you're gonna wanna put it in like an ignition mode so it stays on longer. And they definitely can. So it's good to have like a battery charger on the back end. Most of the time you're fine. It's when you get into older cars, less maintained cars, and winter time. So winter time screws with batteries, and the ones that were kind of on their way out will definitely make it go completely out. So having a jump box, very handy thing to have. Definitely recommend having one. I mean, I've had cars that have come in just for like 2 doors, and within 20 minutes, it's dead. It's like, ooh. How do I feel about Suntech? I don't know. Suntech, they're fine. I don't have any issues with the company. I haven't used them though, not consistently and ever. So, owned by Eastman. So I'd probably just go to Lumar if the pricing's close enough, and I don't know. It's just probably is. It's always one thing I wonder. Why there's always a pretty healthy interest on Suntech, but they're still under the same company, basically the same films. Yeah, I always prefer Geo, but as far as like other brands go, there's ones that I'll like and I don't like, but Suntech's fine. I want my fog machines to work. Sad. It was working. It was working flawlessly, and now it's not. Maybe at the very end, we'll have time. We'll see, though. So this, for a couple of reasons, is going to be a trickier windshield. Suntech's dyed isn't color stable. Oh, I didn't know that. That's a no-no. Don't they call it like STD or carbon or something? That's something people kind of miss. I don't even think they realize. There's no way that new people are necessarily going to understand color stable, not unless they're told. Color stable is important when you're getting really any type of film, but it's going to be way more prominent in dyed films. You want some type of coverage on that film to be more than just the lifetime warranty, because lifetime warranty doesn't mean that it's going to look the same 5 years down the road. A lifetime warranty is subject to many differences based on whatever the company is willing to cover. So whenever they're like, yeah, we got a lifetime warranty on our film. Okay, what does that mean? Well, that means that you'll be good. And if the color fades, yeah, right? Okay. And then you also gotta ask them, like, how? Like, let's say something happens. What do they do? That's really important too, because every company is different. So, figuring out what they're gonna do for you in the event of a catastrophic business-ending film failure is kind of important. Which window are you going to do first? We're going to do the side doors. So get the parts that need to dry out of the way, and then we'll do those. So you can see they have a teardrop shape antenna and a little bug in the windshield right now. So this is going to be just a little bit tricky because the bottom of this mirror kind of pinches up against the glass, but there is a little wiggle there, so you can free it up. Thin dot matrix border. So the nice thing about it is that you don't have to splice it in any way that would look bad. Bad news is that the mirror is going to have to kind of stay there. So we're going to finish prepping this. And then windshield really is going to be our most difficult thing. As you can see, there's just like unique things about Audi that'll make this whole job take a little bit longer than some. Because like right now, like I got the wiper in the way a little bit, so we're still going to try and prop it up maybe in a different spot, but wiper. Side paneling on the inside, unique cutout, tighter tolerances. Same thing for the front doors, tighter tolerances on all the paneling. And then the back window's got that spoiler that kind of gets in the way. So kind of gonna get all the difficult windows. Doors are probably the easier part though. So now that we got most of that taken care of, it's time to roll these down. Put the wiper in the service position. Nobody taught me that one actually. I kind of was thinking there might be a service position from the turn the car off, push the wiper up. Do we do it? Okay, so my only concern with doing that is accidentally hitting something that's going to make it go back with the wipers off. Where? There you are. Perfect. So, thank you for the suggestion in chat. How do you then put it out of service? So you turn it off. It won't go down until you start driving or hit the stock again. So when I'm tinting it on the inside and I accidentally bump it, is it gonna go down and like completely screw with it? Because I'm definitely gonna accidentally bump it. Ah, come on. And I don't want to bump it. You know, like latching the door and then somebody else accidentally closing the door on the latch. That's what I'm concerned about with this but with me, try it out. I've already prepped most of it, so I'd have to re-prep it. I guess it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Let it dry first and then we might try it. I want to fully understand what I'm getting into before, because if those accidentally start to turn back, it's going to grind against that HUD, and I'm not going to be happy about that. So, but I understand what it's going to do for like freeing them up out of the way, so maybe for part of it we can do that. Maybe we can put the wipers back up against glass after you roll up the tint. Yeah, reverse roll would kind of give us just a little bit. Like we'd have to kind of run over, put them back down while we're holding the reverse roll. But there'd be room to handle that. That sounds safer. See, I just want to work in a plan to this if we're going to do it. Oh yeah, we got to do this one too. What do you think's better, the 9 or the 8 for GoPro? Well, I'm using the 8, and I bought the 9, and I returned the 9 within like a day or two. The 8 just didn't agree with, or the 9 didn't agree with the lighting in here. I don't know what the deal was, but it looked way worse. I tried adjusting colors and stuff like that. I just wasn't having it. Maybe now it would look better, but now we're talking about rumors for the 10, so I'm gonna wait on a 10 and then Where's the super chat? They're out of money. Fog machine's not working. That's where they are. They're sad. I'm sad. I want the fog machine to work because they're fun. It's a German card, not an American one. They won't move when they are in the service position. Oh, I'm not worried about them just like falling back down randomly. I'm more worried about accidentally bumping the I'm worried about bumping the wiper thing and having them mess up. So once that dries, then we can try and lift them up and get them out of the way for the cutting and the shrinking part. So we got a plan. I just want to make sure you know what we're doing here. So let me bring this up. Good old YouTube. Q5. All right. You know, I think this is like... Oh, I see what's going on here. Hang on, let me change my browser.
What the hell? Replacing windshield wiper.
All right, so this dude is... Okay, get to the thing. I'm sure this is how people feel about my video. What? Windshield wipers. Look at that. Turn ignition on. Service position. And then... Is it gonna move? On. Hey! Okay, and then it only goes part way up. Well, if that's a system there... Cool. Canon. Oh, GoPro. GoPro. What you doing? What you doing, computer? All right. 2 seconds. Yeah, we don't have all that. This is a different one. Car. There it is. Service on. Hey! Okay, I feel safer about that. That's cool. So then we just off, and then it goes back down. All right, cool. Well, we learned something today. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the help, and also YouTube for that. So that'll make it much safer, so they're not going to randomly go up, and that was pretty quick to do. Sweet. Yeah. So we're going to do the doors first, and then we're going to put the wipers up. So I don't want to leave them up the whole time, but hey. Now we know. It's pretty easy to do, too. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I feel a little bit safer with having a setting that we can kind of just like toggle over on the dash rather than like pulling a lever for 3 seconds or something like that. How do you relocate the sticker for car registrations? I don't know. I don't really have to deal with that. I'd take it off and then I'd put it somewhere where they can figure out what they want to do with it. Because, like, we don't have yearly state inspections. So it's not something I really have to worry about here. There's only, like, the park recreation stuff if somebody has it. But, again, we just put it kind of where somebody can decide what they want to do with it. I'd probably laminate it in some way and a backing that would peel off clean, so you can you just remove it and you could put it back in the same spot, but in a way that isn't going to really stick very much to the windshield. It'll just kind of be there for when they need it, but then they could pull it off clean. That would be the other little portion. Thoughts on Suntech ceramic? See, so many Suntech questions. I don't know. I haven't used Suntech ceramic. I don't know. Best tinting school to go to? I actually don't know. I hear good things about window tinting school down in Florida. I'll probably have one here soon enough. So that'll probably be my next suggestion, but it doesn't exist yet, so hey, there's that. And then there's like a handful of schools around the country. I was actually kind of surprised to hear a good number of them don't focus much on hand cutting. They all talk about plotters and installation, which is helpful, but like, come on now. If you're going to a school and you're not going home to a plotter, you got a problem. What the fuck?
Duknaz super chatted $2. Good morning. Do you drink milk raw or pasteurized?
Thank you for the 2. I have usually just whole milk. Raw milk, no. Oh, mirror, why you gotta get in the way? Stop it. Just making sure this is lined up. We don't have a ton of room to play with on these, so. You move the film towards the back door? Yeah, so we always shift it. Because you got to make your pattern just a little bit wider. See this right here? They're a little farther down, but they're definitely tight. Pretty consistent across the whole thing. Yeah, when you're cutting out patterns, the goal is to make the pattern a little bit bigger. So shifting patterns, I do it both ways. So you shift it forward or back, and then you cut your other side and then shift it back about half the distance. So you've got an even overlap on both sides. You don't just shift it once, you shift it twice. Oh, dang. I remember we moved in last year. We had a cricket. I guess we're coming into cricket season again. Best tint school is live streaming. Apparently you don't learn everything from that, though, even though we do everything on live stream. Well, some people will learn everything on here, so that's good. We definitely teach everything. Best tint school. Thank you. You guys are nice. I appreciate you. Perfected my skills watching your videos. Nice. Oh, I just hear people still asking about schools, even though they're watching this. But no, I get it. There's a little bit of fuzziness with anything video, and you can never, like, when you want to get like real specific or like get your head in there, it's just sometimes you can see more in person. I forgot my heat gun's over here because I had to do a semi truck in here. That was fun. Not. That was. It's one of those things where he asked about a couple sets of doors, and then he was like, I want to get my semi tinted. I was like, oh, okay, I guess so. That's weird. It's not showing any drop frames. It's showing my internet stable, so the audio's clipping in and out. Maybe it's a GoPro thing. Hang on. The only other thing that it could be, because this looks smooth too. 1 second, this will go black. That's like the only other thing that it could be. So other than that, it's YouTube. It's actually not me today. YouTube's pretty consistent, though. God, I'm so used to it being my problem. Dang. Well, that's no fun. Unfortunately, we just gotta keep going. There we go. So that's covered. So we're gonna clean this off. I need a new clay bar. No, I appreciate it. It's always a little unnerving anytime that happens, but it's at least everything's all set on my end, so it is what it is. Where did we get that carpet shield from? So that, oh shit. Do we have a scrub pad over here? Is that where we put it? We did put it over there. We're gonna wrap our double doors today live. Well, we're gonna take probably about another, I don't know, say hour and a half easily. So is Glass Aid back? No, not yet. Hoping soon though. All right. Let's get these. Yeah, see that right there? That is a little snug down there. So if you're gonna bottom load something like this, which I wouldn't blame you for doing, you gotta, guessing, take a good part of this apart. I don't like doing that. But it is a challenge to get these tucked in, too, so, hey, there's that. Trade-offs. How do I practice if I don't have a car to practice on? Maybe get into flat glass? I don't know. I mean, you got me there. There's only so much that I can tell you. At some point, you're gonna have to put yourself in a position that you have a car to work on. Save up. Buy a door from a junkyard. I don't know. Also, you could try to get a job at another tint shop. I know that doesn't always work out very easily, but in your case, you gotta get a car. Alright, so let's make sure these are lined up before we tack them in place. Looking good on that side, looking good on that side. The immediate sides aren't so bad. Going to the bottom, we're gonna have a little bit more challenge here. But I've done my fair share of these. It's just, in comparison to a lot of the stuff that we regularly see, this is just one of those, like, people ask me about VWs, Mercedes, BMW, Audi. So this is one of those Audis that is a little bit like, when you have a busy day and then you get one of these on your schedule, it'll take just a little bit more time. That's all. So we're definitely pinching right towards here. We need to get this air out, then it'll calm down a little bit more. Use our good old shank. There we go. And then get this air out. I'll leave the seal kind of pried back a little bit and try and let as much air out here as I can. And then once you get most of that air out, that's what you're kind of fighting against too, once it's all a little bit below the seal. So if I can do these without taking them apart, you could maybe see why I don't like to take most things apart, because it's fine. I shouldn't use that. I should use this one. See, look at that. Look at that back pressure on that seal. Here's one. There's two. There's three. Ta-da! We did it. A lot of dust under seals. Well, that's one reason why we'll tape a lot of things now. So they're rubber seals, so you could definitely just take the time to clean them off. Or you just like create a new seal. Do you have a method for taking out the water with the squishy? With the squishy. What's your favorite squishy? Do you recommend molding panels if the seals are out? Yes, absolutely. I don't know. That's like a weird. It almost comes across as like a weird bragging thing. Like, I don't have to shrink windows. I guess that's cool. If you really don't want to. It doesn't take hardly any time to do. So it's kind of like, the way I look at it is risk to reward. So there are doors that you can tint just fine without shrinking them, believe it or not. So you just, especially with getting the seals out of the way, you can still do it with the seals in the way, but it's just something that'll help. Anyways, when you install a window, you squeegee it out evenly, everything lays flat, cool. Very happy for you. You have an easier time doing that without the panel being there, so I get it. For me, taking a handful of seconds and shrinking a door window to prevent, I don't know, how much time is it going to take if you have a finger or a couple fingers pop up? One, it could pull in trash back into the film. But let's say that doesn't happen. You're just sitting there heating up a finger and trying to press it out. As long as it doesn't take you any time and pose any risks, then there's no big deal. But especially with the seals still in there, if I'm going to take a non-shrunk window and then try and shrink all those little things out that pop up after the fact, like, even if it's a couple, I could have pre-shrunk it faster than it takes me to mess around with it. So that's always my thinking for that. It's about just saving time and risking pulling crap back into my tint that I could have prevented. So I love trying to save as much time as possible on an install, but there's certain things that are definitely worth spending a little bit of time. But it's just the way some people talk about it is really confusing sometimes, because it's like they act like it'll take, 2 doors will take an entire hour if you shrink them. It's like, it adds like under a minute to the entire install, so. And saving that scratching the film, yeah, that's another point too. You're sitting there with heat and a card or something pressing a bunch of times against it. How much do you charge to ceramic all the windows? So everything with a full windshield depends on the size of the vehicle. So it's typically either $600 to like $650. Without the windshield, it's like, it's typically $450. All right, there we go. Sprayed. Get this thing installed. And then after that, we're going to do the back window. Make me want to move to Michigan. So there's plenty of shops that'll install for $150. And they'll argue with me tooth and nail about pricing and area and whatnot. It's not everybody is getting that.
For you guys super chatted $4.99.
For you guys with the 5, thank you. I appreciate it. No, oh, don't do that. That little, hear that little, it's freezing on me. Come on, just give me that little bit where it's right in place, and then you can stick all you want. Cool, there we go. Shrinking, biggest issues, understand shrinking doors. It's not that complicated. So I shrink at the bottom because for doors there's not as much to shrinking as there is on a back window or a windshield. So best I can explain it is you just need to shrink it some, and a good amount of the curve is going to kind of show itself all at the bottom. So that's why we shrink most of it at the bottom. It's just easier. So knowing how much to shrink is then pretty straightforward too, because you need to shrink enough so the film just lays flat against the glass. Now, if it's fighting with you with a lot of tension and it's really hard to get it to lay flat, you've shrunk it too much. If there's still fingers popping up at the bottom, then you need to shrink it more. The goal is real simple. Just get everything to lay flat. So it's in a bit of a tough spot for me to show you what too much tension would look like, but if you remind me on another door, I can show you. I've put out some videos, though, to hopefully explain it before. Too much tension. So when I'm laying this in here right now, I've got a tight seal that I'm tucking into. But the way I want this to look after it's installed is just pretty smooth. So like you have like a little curve in here and a little curve in there, and then everything's gonna lay flat when I press it down. That's what I mean by smooth. You know, smooth. Oh, come on, just a little bit more. Don't crunch a corner, just, there we go. Whew. So on a tighter window, that tucking with the shank, you can see it takes some finessing and stuff. When you get into these cars, it's a little bit more effort, a little bit trickier, and I've had to redo plenty of these windows. The guy that taught me made me tuck in from the middle. That doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I've seen some magical things happen from the way other tinners do it, so it could just be a unique perspective. I like to try and tuck in one corner and then tuck in another corner, and then when you pull it flat, like when you pull it this way, like get one corner, get another corner, and then try and pull it this way, but as you're doing it, you're kind of just like, and then it'll all kind of fall into place. Good Lord.
For you guys super chatted $4.99.
For you guys with the $5 super sticker, thank you. Thank you, I really appreciate it. We gotta set off some fog machines, man. I'm so annoyed that it's another software problem. I have nothing changed. Literally nothing changed. It even sees the live stream. So I couldn't tell you why it's not working, just that there's a software bug causing it to not work right now. Your way is really dope. Thank you. Sweet, looks good. We have little water to press out in those little folds. That's fine. We'll get there. We're just gonna kind of, like you can see right there, that'll all press out. That's because it's tighter there. So we're gonna warm that up, press it out, but it doesn't hurt to kind of let it naturally dry out first, and then we'll get to it. And then before this thing leaves, just to be like extra sure, it doesn't hurt to just do one of those at the bottom. There's water that sits on that seal, and it keeps that bottom area constantly wet until the whole window pretty much dries out. So just going over it with a quick swipe doesn't ever hurt. If you shrunk it right, you should be fine, but just in case, you know. Okay, back window time. So we put some extra lighting up here. So hopefully that'll, I know there's like this little spoiler here, but hopefully that now helps with making this area a little bit easier to see. That's why I always flip cars around and try to do everything up here. But, you know, when you got a back window and then you got a windshield, I don't really feel like flipping a car around. Where is my roll of tint? So we're doing ceramic on the front, and then because we're only darkening up the back window, there's no problem with doing a color stable dye because he's not sitting back here cooking. So purpose of this is purely for functionality. How many cars do you usually work on in a day? Depends on the day. Now we're set up for like, I've been doing 2 in a day. It's nice. This morning almost became a bit of a mess because, so you guys know I set everything up with deposits. Well, I ran into a little situation where somebody didn't leave a deposit until like midnight last night. So they went to the booking site and they thought that, like I talked to them, we scheduled for 10 o'clock today, but as you can see, we're working on an Audi right now for 10 o'clock today. And then somebody else, they booked for 11 o'clock today because my appointment time showed that it was open. But you're always supposed to talk to me beforehand before you book a time. So, message this morning, we're all good. They're coming in at 1 o'clock. I was a little concerned. Like, it puts you in a weird situation just because, like, they did leave a deposit. Oh my God, they work. Okay, it fixed itself.
Swallogang super
I didn't
chat
do
at
anything.
$4.99. I appreciate her great teaching and patience with all our repetitive questions. I will soon start tinting business and will have extra income THX.
Now I can leave the live stream. Thank you for that super. I really appreciate it. No problem with the repetitive questions. Like, it's just part of what this is. You gotta always understand that there's people coming from all over the place. So Swole Gang, thank you so much for the 5. Good luck on that tint business too, by the way. So, yeah, with this, like, you know, 100,000 questions about carpet shield, you guys see how many people are watching at one time. There's a mix of regulars and there's a mix of new people that are always filtering in and out. This is part of it. It's all good. I'm glad it worked, but I'm also super frustrated because I didn't do anything to fix it. And that's probably one of the worst things for troubleshooting. So you want like a consistent problem and a consistent solution. You don't just want to go like, well, I guess it'll maybe work today. Okay, somebody try it. You know what I mean? It's not great. So this is, I need to move it. I need it to not look like that. So there, that's a little bit better. See that little droop? We want them to look like vertical spikes because that's the best way to shrink them out. So I took your advice, I made more videos. I'm still not getting a lot of work. It's just, I mean, it's never an exact science, but who was that? So, oh, it's Facebook, I don't know the person. I charge $220, doesn't sound like too much. $260 to remove all new tint. That's definitely expensive, but like, it's a removal. I don't blame you on that. So what I can tell you in regards to media is look at this. I've been doing live streaming since October 2019, not under Detroit Tint Studio. And then March 2020 is when we started Detroit Tint Studio. And I've been live streaming a lot. And I'm only now starting to get people coming organically from live streaming. So what you can do with video and ads is you can just try and make the best catchy stuff that you can, and then you can pay to boost it. But it's still a tough market no matter how you slice it. So that's just one of the many things that you can work on to try and boost your business. So I think people overall are definitely sleeping on video, but you gotta figure out that thing that connects with the people that are your existing customers or people that are coming into you. It's tough. It really is. I mean, I'm still dealing with it. I've had, let's see, this week, let's see, Tuesday we had what is it? Did we do a stream on Monday? We had a stream on Monday. Tuesday I had a semi-truck coming at 3 o'clock. And then we had nothing for Thursday, or nothing for Wednesday or Thursday. And now we have 2 cars for today. It's just like tint business will come in, it'll get busy, and then all of a sudden it'll slow down. It'll be all over the place till you grind it out and pick up that consistent business. It takes time. So in the meantime, you're trying to like spark people's interest that maybe wouldn't have come to you or didn't know about you. So don't lose faith with putting out media and then not getting much of a reaction for it initially, because like you got to throw it in front of people's faces. And what I noticed too was some of those leads took a while to warm up. So they turned into some of my best clients, but it was like they called, they asked about it, and then they said, yeah, we'll let you know when we're ready. And then like 2 months
Alligator
later if they were
super
ready.
chatted $4.99. I second that on videos. Mine make me a ton and people seeing them then booking with me.
Super chat 5 alligator. I second that on videos. Mine make a ton in people seeing them then booking with me. Thank you so much for the 5, and thank you for that validation right there. It's 100% right. Yeah, it takes time. I wish I had a magic thingy that would just pop people in. And then it's like, it gets frustrating too. This is something I could talk a lot about. So it's not specific to the one person. This is just for everybody listening. Before you know it, your business will kind of organically pick up on its own. You just got to be there for a while, grinding it out, trying to do the best you can with the people that are already coming in, and then just try a bunch of stuff, see what works best for yours. So I did not open this place and just hit the ground running. You guys know I was working at Symbol Auto Glass for we just left them. So we still were contracting for them a couple of days a week, and then it got to the point where I had to switch over 100% to here, but that took a while. Nobody calls on your phone. So the white tape is called Glass Aid. Hopefully it'll be back in stock soon. I should have some type of a update later today. I had an update a couple of days ago that was very promising. But it didn't give me an exact timeline. Just that hopefully like things should get rolling here pretty soon. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to be super specific about it, but I don't have like a perfect update for you. What was the other question? All right, let me clean this off. I gotta grab a scrub pad anyways. Oh, nobody calls you while live streaming. That was the other one. They do. One, I forgot my watch today, so if somebody does, I totally missed it. And then I have somebody that helps out with some of those calls and whatnot. So they don't have to be here, which is nice. They work remotely. They just help with booking and scheduling, and that's been a big help. You definitely don't need to. Oh, I have one right in there. Cool. Don't need somebody here full time to make that happen, though. Just stay on the ready from wherever they are. You have other employees? I have one other person that helps. He's a longtime friend that helps with all that, so picks up a lot of the slack. Because I'm not super great with like quick communication, especially while I'm live streaming. Like, so he's really good at getting back to people. I try, but man, there's a whole bunch of, dang, I thought that was gonna go up higher. That didn't go up high. Oh, okay, we can push it a little higher. Ow, I booped my head. We're gonna throw this puppy back. Should we do this one or should we gotta cover this stuff up. We're gonna use this one. Makes more sense. Where I live, all window tinters are booked out like a month. Yeah, around here, a good number of them are really booked up too. You want to send some of them my way? That's how it goes. You just got to kind of be there for a long time, build up that client base and whatnot, and eventually you'll get there. I mean, we're far, I was hearing that when I started last year. And I saw it firsthand. You know, I always said I always wanted to make sure everything was kind of where I needed it to be. That's what we were missing. All right, so on this back window, we're probably gonna have to do a little interior trimming here, because that top edge was cut, but I didn't exactly cut it one-to-one with the way this is. So we're kind of gonna butt it up here, tuck a little bit underneath if we can, and then trim it off on the inside. I've had this physical location since October of last year, and then I've had the Detroit Tint Studio name since March of last year. There's like this one. So, sorry, I'm listening to a few comments here. I'm checking this out because I have like looks like something hit the glass at some point, so it left a little bit of like a mark here. So I'm just kind of feeling that out. It's smooth against the glass, and the outside is tinted. You'll just kind of see it on the inside a little bit. It's a mar that's in the glass that's not going to come out, though. Your description of your business is super similar to mine. Dude, I've been in so many different tint shops and audio shops. I've been around the whole business since I was a kid. So my dad, he owned an auto accessory business that fell when the housing market fell, and then transitioned into just a tinting business. Mostly a tinting business. So I've been around the whole accessory space for a very, very long time. And it's the same thing with all of them. They get busy, they get slammed. Remote starters have their busy seasons. Audio accessories have their busy seasons, and then they slow down. Some of that stuff is definitely dying off with modern technology. But yeah, it gets busy, it gets slow, and you can't even explain why. 1 week will be nice, and you would think you'll have all the business in the world, and then it's just you don't get any phone calls. And then the next week, all of a sudden you're double booked, and you're like, what the hell happened? Why didn't some of these people call last week? You know what I mean? Like, it's just when people want it, they all want it at the same time. So eventually, though, what's so unique with the shutdown and everything is it brought so much extra business to everybody. So it's like a forever game of trying to play catch up. But you will still have slowdowns. You will still have stalls. Just hang in there. Or diversify your services a little bit too. It's the same in many other business. Oh, for sure. I'm just super familiar with the car business. And there's a lot of people where it's just, you've only ever been around your own shop or a couple local places or, you know, wherever you've been, and you haven't seen the bigger picture. I mean, when I saw mobile, that's when I really was keen to, like, there was quite a few people that would call multiple stores to book one appointment. They were just looking for the quickest, cheapest place that they could. So they would call one store, and then they would call the next store, and then they would call the next store. And before you know it, they have 5 appointments across 5 different stores. And we got a call about every single one of them because we serviced every one of those stores. And then we didn't know where the guy was going to show up. And just like, yep, we already got a call about him. It was funny too, because when you recognize it soon enough, you can like, oh yeah, is this his last name? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? We already got a call about him. You might want to let him know. Only got time to tint 1 day a week. I don't have a lot of experience with just 1 day a week. But I do know there are some people that have managed to make weekends work very well for them, where they have a regular job and then they schedule stuff on the weekends. And then there was one guy I talked to who was making more money on the weekends than on his full-time job. I think he was a very unique person, more so than he might realize. For that to like, for it to kind of happen, and him like, it's just some people just have like a nice local network that like all it takes is a good referral, and then everybody's coming to you for work, and your business builds up very quickly and organically. Mine has never been like that. Mine's always been a slow grind. So we were able to get most of this tucked, and we're just gonna shrink down. There's just a couple of spots that can be shrunk down a little bit better. So we're just putting some heat there, and we're gonna let it dry out, and we'll come back and fix it up a little bit more. But put enough heat to kind of get that tint to like pull sideways, but back off the heat gun against the paneling. So you're not holding it in any one spot for very long. You're just giving it quick little bursts of heat, and you'll be able to get that to cinch down on you. Cricket. The crickets are back. It's a seasonal thing, apparently. I'm never gonna catch them. I hear them though. We moved into the place last year, and then we had that cricket problem August, September, October. Yep, sounds about right. Starting to hear a whole bunch of them this time of year. I didn't realize how seasonal they were around here. Fits like a glove. It's back. I actually got one the other day. But yeah, they're just, I don't know. It rained a lot too, so I'd imagine they're just all finding shelter in the holes in the wall or something. Sweet! Other versions of the floor that might be cheaper? Not really. So there's Swiss Tracks, which is the more expensive version of Race Deck, I think. And then Race Deck, I'd feel a little uncomfortable going any cheaper than this, though. I mean, there are like some Chinese suppliers, I think, but then shipping's a hassle. So I don't know. You need something that's going to be durable if you're going to be pulling cars on it. So it's one of those things you got to kind of save up for. I like it though. But there's other things you can do. All right, so we're gonna pop this up then. So, car. How do we do this again? Windshield wipers on. Ta-da! Now, I'm okay with turning this off, right? What I want to know is if I do this, I just want to make sure, because it's in, so then if I do off, it'll go back down, but it remembers, which I figured it would. We're going to be sure here. Cool. Well, thank you. We're going to put towels there, just to be doubly sure. But hey, cool, look at that. Nice. Now they're up out of the way. Much appreciated on that one. That'll make that a little bit easier. Okay, so we got to do a full windshield now. We have, what are we doing? 35? We're going 35 on this one. It's gonna look sick. We were debating on 50 and 35. We settled on 35. 35 is gonna look awesome. I like 35 a lot. Ever tried the soap method? No, I haven't. I should. I just, for whatever reason, I haven't. I'm sure it would work okay, though. Swiss Trax is a bit thicker. Yeah. Yeah, so really, if you ask for a cheaper version of Swiss Trax, I think it's Ray Stack. But I wouldn't go any cheaper. I mean, they're harder. These ones are like stiff plastic panels. They're not rubbery. And they can shift a little bit, especially when you're driving bigger vehicles a little quicker over them, and you're like turning the wheel while you're driving and stuff. You'll start to shift them a little bit. And they're just that. They're just stiff panels with gaps in them. So I know I've got extra ones laying around here somewhere. But they're gonna cost $400 to $450 a square, and I mean, if you want to do something that really like jazzes up your shop, that's definitely one of them. I really like some of the automotive like fake or vinyl wood flooring and stuff like that. That looks sweet too. Just something for your floors, whether that be epoxy, or even painting the concrete, polishing the concrete, painting it, just something that makes it look nicer. Totally worth it. It's like, they stands out so much more on pictures. I really like the look of it in my two-car garage. That's where most of this came from. It was in the home garage, and then I had to move. If you put double the film, will it block the heat more? Yeah, you'd get more, but it wouldn't be. There'd still be some that would get through, I'm sure. So like this does 75 to 80% of IR. So that's what you feel. So doing a layer over that would probably be better than the one, but paying for it and then how much more, probably not a significant, not as much as doing the first layer. But yeah, I'd probably hit some more. 2 layers of, I don't know, 170 and one a little darker, or however you want to do it. Alright, so I think what we're going to do on this one, we're going to take our sweet time. 2, we're going to put a rope in there, clean it, and then we're going to pull the rope right before we install it because of how much that presses in at the bottom. When's Geo gonna come out with a better ceramic or super ceramic? Soon. That's all I'll say about it. Soon. I haven't played with anything, but soon. They're catching up. Are you gonna add it? You betcha. We'll play around with it first, but more than likely, yes. I don't know. I gotta take a good hard look at everything and kind of figure out what I want to do about Pro Classic then, because it might bump Pro Classic completely off, or I might have Pro Classic and not advertise I have it, but if we have to go Pro Classic, then we have to go Pro Classic, because I've always liked the idea of a carbon, a ceramic, and then like a super ceramic. But that definitely doesn't quite lower your entry price. It really just brings everything up higher. So what I'm expecting is that more people would go for the ceramic at that point. But we'll see. We're going to be updating the showroom though, so that's kind of exciting. I got to look at my floors. I'm going to try and epoxy them myself. I was looking at epoxy floors. I think it's like 550 square feet up front. I thought it was like 300. It's definitely 550. So I gotta, I don't know. I gotta figure out how much epoxy I gotta get for that. And if my floors are relatively smooth under the carpet that's up there, then maybe we can just slap it over. There we go. Look at that. We've got a windshield. Just put race deck. I don't know. I don't want to cut all the edges. I could do race deck. Race deck I think would be more expensive than doing epoxy myself. It would be cool. But all the edges is where you got to put a lot of work into it, so that's kind of why I'm staying away from flooring. You can take it with you. Ah, that's a good point. Dang it. That's like the best point. Man, I just really don't want to do all the edges. Putting the bulk of it in is okay. Doing all the edges drives me nuts. You gotta sit there, measure, cut each tile, and then slot it in. And I've done it at the house, and then I came here and I put the flooring back in. I'm just so over messing with these tiles. Mine will be Swiss Tracks Lobby and Shop. Yeah, like, so for epoxy, what I was thinking, something that looks glossy, dark and glossy, something that just looks super modern and clean. I'm not gonna do like any type of a flake. It would just be nice clean walls, nice clean shiny floor, and really clean ceiling. And then we'll figure out what else to put in there for like displays and couch and stuff. It's gonna be a little bit different than back here. I'm thinking the far wall is gonna be like a nice Detroit Tint Studio accent wall, and then the rest of it's just gonna be super, super clean. Or we'll throw a fog machine up there for super chats. And then people who have no idea what they are going to think that we're gassing them or something ridiculous. But it's definitely in need of an overhaul. It's been, commercial stuff is expensive. I just did the same windshield. All the time spent grinding the floors, diamond cutting blades, epoxy costs about the same, but you're upgrading the landlord's property unless you own the building. That's a good point. What I'm hoping, so my idea, and it very well might not work out, is like, because it's really light foot traffic up front, I don't know how crazy we have to get with like with just a decent epoxy. But if it's gonna require a bunch of like floor grinding and all that stuff, yeah, it's not gonna go that way. I want something that'll look cool, but I don't have to spend weeks working on it. I could have an epoxy poured in a day. But I'm pretty new to all that, so that's kind of why it would make good content too. Okay, so let's get this guy in there. So you guys liked my dash protector video? We're still using it. We need a little push. And look, the wipers, they're staying. That's nice. Oh wait. This guy, I need to get one of those push sticks. I got them at home. I keep forgetting. Maybe we can tuck this far enough in there. No, that's not gonna work. That goes really far. So we're gonna kind of seal up the bottom here. We're gonna spray it, we're gonna clean it, and then we're gonna just lightly pull it out and then fit all that. Man, I love this towel though. I love this part about it. It's easy to get in there and it creates that much space for me, but it's still not enough space. Time is it? 12. Okay. Yeah, we're doing all right. There it is. Got that sucker in there. And a bug. Please don't walk in my film. That would not be fun. Mirror's gonna stay in place. Let's get a razor. It's a bit of an older window. What's up, Jay? How you doing? There we go. So this mirror is a little bit funny because it's got like a spider style clamp that kind of just like, I think you can twist it on and twist it off, but it's a little finicky, so I'm not going to remove it. But there is like, if you push this, there is like a little flex there. Kind of like with the wipers. I'm just gonna hang back from removing that one. So I know it twists off, but it's got like a weird spider clamp. Takes 2 seconds. Annoying to put that part right there. Thank you for that final part. Takes 2 seconds to take off, annoying to put back. That whole put back part is where I'm a little bit like, yeah. But we have enough room to get around it. It's going to be a little tricky. It's going to be a little tight, but we'll make it happen. Gonna make it happen. There we go. Thanks for the reply to my message. Oh, you're welcome. Whatever message that was. Alright, I'm gonna go over this once, maybe twice. Just get that wiped off. Cool. Something super satisfying about watching somebody else tint. I appreciate it. I'm happy when I get to watch somebody else tint at like work. And I don't have to do it. They're getting stuff done. But I know what you're saying. It's on a busy day. Like when other people are taking care, man, that's happened so many times. So like at a lot of places, like, you know, when you're by yourself, that's one thing. When you're working with a small team, whenever there's something that's like kind of difficult, it's like kind of up for grabs and somebody else takes it over. Ah, so nice. Really always appreciated that. For a long time, and most places that I tint, it's like, for the most part, it's like you're responsible for all the work and everything. So if you're not doing it, it's not getting done, or it's not getting done right, and then you're gonna have to redo it or something. All right, now we're coming to the very fun part. We've got all this windshield to tuck in the bottom. I'm the one that gets the fun stuff when things are up for grabs. Yep, I know the feeling. There's some people that really always like a challenge. I'm like, I've leaned towards not, but I always kind of, if they're there, it's just kind of becomes part of the business sometimes. So like I had a semi the other day, and I was like, oh, I know I can do it. We'll just do it. But it was cool. He got ceramic on the sides. A lot of up, down on a ladder. It's Lexan, a good brand. They're actually, they have a great brand. People ask about them all the time. I had somebody shoot me a private message about Lexan, about getting quoted in Lumar or Lexan, and what should they go with. Ay, ay, ay. See, that's what's sad. Like, it's significantly cheaper for Lexan. It's like, yeah. It's true. Depends on who does it. Ah, all right. Well, it looks like everything's gonna be okay with these wipers. Oh no, we could do this. Just in case. There we go. Look at that. Putting them down. Oh, good. Is it still a good brand? Oh, it's fine for the money. It's just not where I want to see people go as a business. But like, yeah, I'm not making your business for you, so. I'm trying to push you guys do a little better. All right, let's get this in here. Do you have a YouTube? Oh, yeah. This is all on YouTube, actually. Tint Studio on YouTube. Everybody on YouTube is confused now. Yeah, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So that bottom is definitely a little tight. I sometimes forget that people find me outside of YouTube. Alright, so we need to kind of shift this a little bit. Actually, we're gonna pull it. That's what we're gonna do. And do this, and then just kind of wrap it in there. And then we're gonna tweak it this way. And we're gonna tuck it. And we're gonna wrap it up there. Like I said, they're tricky. Not super fun. I definitely don't like that. You guys ever want to see a scattered looking windshield? Watch me do an Audi. There we go. Now we're gonna finagle this up over there. That's what we're looking for. Don't fall, please. Maybe we should have taken this out. Here's that. Shrinking? No, you're gonna always want to shrink tint. We don't just do it for fun. There's purpose. There's reason behind it. All right. So this bit right here. Hopefully I didn't cut it too tall. I was hoping I cut it short, but it doesn't look like it's giving me much space to play with. That's not good. Oh. Well, that might be why. There. That makes more sense then. It was a little off center. That'll give me a problem. Good Lord. So we tuck all that up there. Make sure that's all tucked up. We can trim that, that's good. That's not the most fun I've ever had on a windshield, but we're tucked everywhere it looks like. Just make sure this. To use light dirt towards the top. Yeah, you're not really gonna be soaking down from the top. You kind of like, all your water kind of mists up there too. All right, I think we're okay. Famous last words. Yeah, man, it's just a tricky cutout with that mirror in the way. You don't have much room to go left and right on the paneling. You're just kind of like bunched up everywhere. You're just trying to sneak it in there and get it in as the best you can. Is it easier to shrink it on the outside of the glass? You must be new. Yes, literally every video, we're always shrinking everything on the outside. There's some questions that'll catch me off guard. I'll repeat a bunch, but like, do you shrink every window? Yes. Is it easier to shrink on the outside? All right, you weren't watching. There we go. Yes. That's what I want to see. That pinch. I didn't want there to be a gap though, so I was really careful to not cut this too short, but sometimes it seems short would have been a better choice. So it's hitting something, just slight, but most of it's tucked in, so I've got room here. So I'm just gonna trim it, hopefully enough. And then, oh, look at that. We'll take a little heat for that bottom piece. Sweet, most of that's down. Let's clean it off, let's check it over, let's pop these wipers back down. They did good for us standing up. We can actually clean it, and then we'll put them back down. Stay. Sweet. Squeegee. Scrubby. There you are. Gotcha. Audi service mode successful. So I've seen a lot of Audis get tinted too short, and I understand why people would do it. I don't like it though. On some of them you could get away with on the inside not seeing a gap, but that's kind of like, it's a risk that you run. So this dot matrix is about this wide, and the dash stops right about here. So dot matrix continues to run down really far, and so there is an argument for, well, if I can't see down there, it doesn't matter, and that's somewhat true. However, some of the like angles play a factor. So just if you're gonna cut it short, just make sure that you are more than good on all your gaps. It would give you an easier time getting that whole windshield installed, but you might see a slight shade difference on those dots. That wouldn't be super exciting. But I didn't want to do that here. We went all the way down. So we just got a lot of mirror touch-up to do, because I'm seeing a lot of little ripples there. So once we heat that up, press it out, check over the rest of it. It's looking pretty good here, so that's exciting. So we can put that down, put that down. We can take it out of service mode in a minute. But yeah, see that guy right there. It's hitting something. Good. A good thorough cleaning definitely helped keep this nice. Especially with that mirror the way that it is. So if we didn't take the time to kind of wipe out that mirror, we'd probably have a lot of little speckles in there. But it actually turned out nice. So a little bit of heat on the inside. There's these areas that are usually going to pool up with water. Oh, that helped. So trying to get that water out is pretty important in helping it to just dry quick. But it's going to be a little tricky. Hopefully it'll just kind of like seam down. It'll be alright. An Altima with a sticky dashboard? Can't say that I have. Keep the heat on it. Hopefully you can press it out enough to get that water out. Alright, let's get organized here a little bit. Pull this towel off. Oh, it's leaving little fuzzy bits on the dash. Yeah, I don't know if this thing's gonna last much longer on the short side. That's sad. It's like 4 or 5 uses. There we go. Looking clean. I suppose anything well with wipers in the way, but a little water there. Not too shabby. I like it. Sweet. Whew. That was a little nerve-wracking. So, service mode. Let's kick these down. Okay, so windshield wipers off. Hey! Return. That's awesome. As long as it's like, because those systems can be like a lot to go through. If you don't know them, you're kind of just sitting there for a little bit, like settings, this, that. Okay, where did they hide this? Which buttons do I have to press? But that was really straightforward. So thank you. Thank you to chat for that one, and also that YouTube video. Whoever posted that. Different Audi, but same system. Or different buttons, but same basic thing. Looking good. Yeah, boy. Well, it left marks on the outside of my windows. So we're gonna clean those. Do a little touch up on the doors in the back, like I said. Nice, very nice. That's the thing. That's the thing about these. It's like you can definitely see where some time will get away from you. And then, so if you have to redo one of these, that's where it especially sucks. Are we still? Oh. That's weird. Holy shit, guys. I'm so sorry. I think he's on. I was wondering why chat was so quiet here. Wow. There we go. Wow, I've never had that one happen before. Super sorry about that. I was wondering why chat was so quiet. Holy shit. Yeah, I was hearing Facebook. Yeah, chat was really quiet. Sorry about that. I thought people were just quiet. No. So this hasn't happened that I've ever had before. The chat, I had to restart the chat software. It was working for Facebook, but it wasn't working for YouTube anymore. Aw, it sucks. Well, thank you for hanging in there. Yeah, so if you had anything in particular with this car or whatever, I definitely didn't hear it for the past 15 minutes or so while I was messing around with that windshield. I thought maybe everybody just left. Camry windshield? Much easier than this. Back windows got a couple little funny curves right at the top, but just shrink it like normal, you'll be good. Windshield should be really straightforward though. Alright. We're going to finish buttoning up everything here. There's that. Looking good. Yep. That's all locked down. Yay. You dry shrunk the back window? Yes. I did like a half though. A half dry shrink. So, no, it's more than half. So, for like a hatch window like this, I mean, completely dry shrinking them, the film falls off. So I'll mist it with a little bit of water and then get it to kind of cling to the glass that way. But just go really light with that. But yeah, there's a dryer sheet underneath. Cool. Yeah, this looks good. I'm happy with this. Dun, dun, dun. Sweet. All right, just making sure nothing popped up there. Looks like everything's laying down. Sides are good. Windshield is good, except for one final little wipe down on the outside. Yeah, just whatever I could do to kind of get it to stay in place was the most helpful for me. Hooray. So we'll do one little walk around and then we will give our many thanks. That'll be that. Do we take the key? Yes, that's the key. What is the percent? All right, good timing. So we did 35% on the full windshield. We did 20% on the front doors. Back meters a little bit lighter than that at 28. And then we did 20% over the factory on the back, which will be a little bit lighter than 5 then, because that's technically 28. But you can see it going a little darker on the front. It's still like on the outside. It blends really well with the back. It's just trucks and SUVs, foreign trucks and SUVs especially, sometimes they'll be a little bit lighter. I made that meter video with the BMW. That was 37. Alrighty. Well, that was cool, wasn't it? You guys have fun? Again, sorry. And then, like, on top of it, you have, like, that not working, so I don't know. At least the tint job turned out nice, and most of the stream works. So the parts that needed to work worked. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is really quickly shout out some super chats. And then that will be all for today. Next stream is probably gonna be either tomorrow or Saturday. plotters. They can be really helpful. Just try and get a good software, and I don't know what to recommend you for that. So that's the challenge. All right, so big shout outs to Alligator, Swole Gang, for you guys, Daknaz, Fahad, Daniel, Swole Gang, Daniel. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I always appreciate it. You know that. Sorry again about the chat, but it is what it is at this point. I have no idea. I might go live a little bit later. Not really for a car, but so I can troubleshoot what is going on with the software. Because I don't think there's any other way I can do it. I think I have to go live, so we might just do that just to do it. But thank you guys for hanging out. Like I said, next stream will probably be either tomorrow or Saturday. Did it work? It did work. We make it work. Let's go. Just got here. Whoops.
Sun Distributing super chatted $5.
Sun Distributing with the 5. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I think Sun Distributing is also going live. They go live on Facebook. So let me throw a link here in chat. So what's cool is, one second here. Let me pull this up. I don't know if this is the right aspect ratio. No, it's not. That's fine. We'll fix this later. I noticed this before. Anyways, so Sun Distributing, this is the Facebook group, by the way. Yeah, why is that so big? I don't know how I can change it right offhand. Maybe I can make it smaller. Desktop. Transform. Ugh. Can I just like resize it? Will you let me do that? Whatever. It's being dumb. Okay. It was giving me problems earlier. Display 1920 by 1080. Yes. So why is it so big? I don't know. Anyways, we'll figure it out. So this is the Facebook group, Window Tint Stuff. I will link this in chat right now. Many of you know this exists, but in case you don't, there it is. Sun Distributing, what did they say? I'm going live wrapping our double doors. So we're going to show them some love. We're going to go to the, what is it? Sun Distributing. There. We'll go here. We're going to link you their Facebook page too. So they're going to go live. What's been cool about this, I like to support other creators here. So where's the Facebook thing? So let's go back to where the video was. So it's going to be shared in the Facebook group. They are basically streaming warehouse distribution. So that is their tool room. That is where they cut film. And then they basically will answer your questions. We went through some technical difficulties last time. But if you guys want to see some more tint stuff, head over there. They're proud supporters of the stream, but they're also trying to do their own thing with some content. And live streaming distribution is really cool. So if you have questions about squeegees, other things, I mean, they have it there firsthand. Even if you want to give them a hard time about your order or whatever, I mean, they'll be there. So show them some love. And thank you guys for hanging out. And with that, I am going to sign off here. I will see you either tomorrow or Saturday. So thanks so much again. And with that last super chat too, right? What was that? Yeah, Sun Distributing. Thank you guys. So if you want to see them wrap some doors, go over there. All right, I'm out.